So I should probably have started actually studying it by now. It's 2:01 p.m. On the afternoon of the 9th of February 2023, and I've had a really good day so far. It really is quite ironic, I find, that I'm prescribed cannabis. I'm literally told to smoke it from when I wake up until bed. It very clearly states on the actual prescription label on the bud that I can smoke up to 1 gram of each strain. So I've got daytime weed and nighttime weed a day. Now, I've always figured, because I don't smoke that much, that would be impossibly difficult for me to A, do, and B, be able to function. I'm starting to think I am wrong because I really did have like a full-blown mental meltdown yesterday, right? And the reason I sit so close is because I don't know what the sound is like, and it fucks with me, especially now that I've spent, $1,100 on a fucking camera I don't know how to use. But I've gotten into the habit, right, of whenever I wake up, whatever time it is, and today it was like 10:30, I think, the first thing I do when I wake up is look out my window to see if I can see Andrew. I only told him this for the first time this morning, actually, but I've been doing it for like quite a while. And when I do see him out in the front yard or whatever, I open the curtain a certain length, like amount, so that he knows I'm awake. And like I said, this morning I actually said to him, it's a thing that I do to like signal that I'm up, so to speak, because you're across the road, Works as my theory, so why not? I love hanging out with Andrew, plus he gives great cuddles, hugs, so so that was all good. Had my breakfast, took my meds, yada yada yada. He needed his lawnmower back, which I knew, obviously. I've mentioned it a few times. It's a lot nicer day today than I had known it was going to be. I haven't actually looked or done anything other than uni, talking to you guys, losing my mind, smoking weed to eat food, watching Netflix. Like, I'm not even watching Netflix. Like, I had Friends on in the background last night, talking to this old friend that's come back, right? Put it out to the universe. I need more friends. Oh, they're all back. Manifestation, people. It's real. I do laugh though, because like I teach people as I go about things, and like I was teaching one of my uni friends something. She lost a pet recently, as in like this week recently, and it's Thursday today. Good old electrolytes, or whatever they are. I don't know why I've had them for so long and not used them. They're fantastic. Anyway, the weeds on my driveway have been driving me insane. And we talk for a bit, obviously, because it's no secret I spend a great deal of time in isolation. I do sometimes imagine, or try to imagine, what it would be like to be a prisoner in the hole, like in the solitude, because there's plenty of research done in all different kinds of circumstances where people who are in isolation for long periods of time go a little bit crazy. I'm already there, but I think I was already there to begin with. This just makes it a little bit more heightened sometimes. And university combined with 15 different fucking health conditions, which are just the ones that I talk about. There are actually others that I don't talk about. makes life hard. It does. And it was like I cried and cried and cried yesterday, right? I sent an email to my tutoring company because they also happen to do ADHD counselling. So thank you, universe, 2 for 1, right? And I very, very much need help in literally every single aspect of my life. Again, as I said to Andrew this morning, I'm like, there's a reason I fucking love dom and sub relationships, because if I was in a love and committed relationship, which would only work if I was with someone who was into the stuff that I'm into, which again obviously brings me back to the same thing, but anyway, I wouldn't want to be a sub just solely in the sexual side of life. I would be happily, my words aren't working, guys. I would very happily be in a dom sub relationship, period. That's what I've always sort of meant, as in the actual lifestyle of one, in my home as well as outside of my home, yeah, because I don't really give a fuck what anyone else thinks about me as long as I'm not doing anything to hurt the next person. And I've hurt a lot of fucking people in my life, and I promise it's not because I've enjoyed it. On saying that, there is definitely a part in my mind that goes, are you sure? Because you're really fucking good at hurting people if you want to. And that's where all the shattered parts of myself come in. And I'm like trying to put myself back together again, yeah? It's like Humpty Dumpty who fell off the wall, right? Anyway, I'm hopeless. I have literally no structure. ADHD is just like, it's honestly probably got to be one of the worst things I think I've ever heard of, dealt with, come across, am living with. Like, there's no way I believed that I could have had it, because I've always been in such structured environments at home. Even when my mum was so severely out of her mind, unwell, I was the one that had to jump in. I'm the eldest, yeah? Like, I remember having to learn how to cook when I was like 9, I think, or younger. I have almost no memories whatsoever from like 10 backwards. I've got a few between the ages of 10 and 8, and the rest of it's gone, except for like flashes. And, you know, like if you've watched any of my videos, like detailed, I talk for the amount of time I talk, because that's how long it takes me to tell a story that makes sense, right? Probably why I love this good old, very, very confusing philosopher, Wittgenstein. I really should write his name down because I just don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But I cannot wait to get his quote on me, as in tattooed onto me. What am I saying though? But yeah, so I was talking to Andrew about wanting to use my solarium because I wrote a blog about it maybe a week ago, saying I'm going to actually start using the thing, yeah? Excuse me. Because there are certain things in my house that I absolutely refuse to ever sell, right? My solarium and my motorbike are 2 of those, right? If I have to move with not enough notice to get me a house, and like I've been saying since this whole shit started in July last year, there's not one little part of me who will move into a house in a frenzy and end up paying a fortune for a dump. Just, it's not going to happen. Like, Sebastian's gone, he's having his limelight, you know, he's living out the rest of his life, and me and Boss can happily fit in the back of my wagon. I don't live like that's going to happen, but I'm now at the point where, like, if it does, it's fine, yeah? But to my point, I will never sell my solarium. I will never, ever, ever sell it, nor my motorbike, right? Those are things that will go into storage. I would rather live in the back of my car and pay for storage to not sell, not to get rid of them, that's how much they mean to me, than sell them to move into a house faster. Everybody's got their own priorities, I guess, yeah? I just find it really funny that I own it, I feel about it like that, and yet I'm so fucking white, like it's funny as fuck, if you ask me, anyway. And so we had a conversation about it, and he's like, why didn't you just use it? And I was like, because it's just not that simple in my fucked up, broken brain. So what I did is I said to him, since you're here, I'm going to make it so that I make myself do it. And so I went and turned the bed on. Now the bed heats up really relatively fast, yeah? But it's my bed and my power and my house, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't want to get into it and have it even a tiny bit cold. I want to get into it, listen to a meditation, and just enjoy it, yeah? So I went and turned it on while Andrew was here, and I turned it all the way on to 15, and then I let it count down. I was saying to Andrew again, the things with, like, I was stressed particular stuff on when I bought the bed, yeah? So I'm here in Melbourne, Australia. My name's Olivia, live for short, from New Zealand. I make videos every day just because I want to, I need to, I truly believe I'm supposed to, and the fact that I can do it without not only no editing, but I don't watch a single thing before I put them online, it's actually really rather entertaining when I think about it. But I just think the fact that I'm so happy and open and free to share my entire life with all of you on the internet is pretty cool, actually. So I turn on the bed, we kept talking, and we went out to get the lawnmower, and my driver was driving me crazy, and I was like, can we please do it? And like, he has so much to do. Like, it's not like I haven't asked Andrew for like 101 favors in the 5 fucking years I've lived here. He knows I love him though, don't you? I sure hope so. Anyway, he was so sweet though. Like, he knew that it was driving me crazy. He's mowing his lawns tomorrow. I very, very much should be halfway through a fucking seminar right now. I still have the quiz to go, and my exam is on Tuesday. It is Thursday. We got the last of today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then exam day. I should be at my desk 12 hours a day. Not going to happen. But Andrew did do my driveway. I'm so fucking grateful. It's like, amazing. I usually tan for 20 minutes exactly, because I listen to a particular 20-minute meditation that I love. Right. Turn my little vape back on. But because I haven't tanned in so long, I thought 20 minutes the first time was probably too much. So I didn't want to do 10, but I didn't want to do 20 either. And so I thought I'd find a medium. And so I was searching, I used the app Insight Timer, right? On my actual web page, I will link the meditations and the picture of the app. That's free to download on both Android and Apple. You don't need to pay for the premium stuff. But yeah, so I thought I should probably find something that's motivating. So I scrolled for motivating meditations, and I was scrolling based on these, like the rating and the timer, like how long it would go for. And I found this one and it went for 16 minutes, and it was called Morning Motivation. And I thought, well, that's probably going to be quite handy, yeah? Time for a fucking clean. I have the same amount of hours in a day as everybody else, and I feel like there are never any. Apparently that's another ADHD thing too. Anyway, so I found this meditation. Now, solariums are not exactly comfortable for me, and I never understood why until being told that my spine went like that, which explains why everything's out of whack and my shoulders are so different. So this particular shoulder is so much further back that when I lie down flat on something, it's not really flat. So I'm like halfway, it's all very awkward. Anyway, and I've got to be honest and say for the first however many years, and well, let's say 15 of them, I thought it was the bed. I couldn't understand. I never once thought it was a me thing. Turns out it's a me thing in most things. Anyway, you learn, you grow, you evolve. That's what I feel. But yes, so I did tan, and this meditation was so fucking motivating. Like, it did exactly what it said it was going to do. It was like, think of something you've been putting off. And then we went through this whole thing, and I was like, in my mind, listing the things that I've been putting off because of uni. But then it would make you think about why, and then the consequences of if you keep putting it off versus if you just did it. Like, I swear to God, I wanted to jump out of my solarium and then run and vacuum my fucking house. This is how much the guy was, like, making me aware. So I did the 16 minutes. Now, when I use a solarium, I put sunscreen on my face. When I can be asked, I put sunscreen on my tattoos. Not nearly enough, which is probably why the colours fade faster than they do, but meh. And I used and depending on the weather, like, because I'd already heated it, within a few seconds of being in the bed, I immediately turned the fan on. And after my solarium, I had a quick shower, and I swear to God, as soon as I, like, finished doing what I needed to, gotten dressed and whatnot, I brought the vacuum cleaner out, and I managed to vacuum my kitchen, my living room, my hallway, laundry, and the toilet. So all the public, like the main areas of the house, and as much into my room with the, like, fur balls of fucking dog fur that I could reach from where it was plugged in. And I figured that was pretty good. It's already made me feel 1,000 times better. And then I was like, that's enough for now. I actually have so much stuff to do, right? But I've had this idea in my head, which is I'm going to smoke weed. So I vaped before the sunbed. There was fuck all left. I put it on charge, went and did what I did, came back out. Thought I was doing really well. And then as soon as I sat down and I logged into uni, it was like instantaneous, tears straight to my eyes. Oh my God, I can't breathe. The overwhelm, like I was drowning, hit me so fucking fast. I'm pretty sure it was only the fact that I just kept vaping that stopped me from immediately spiraling into a hole, because if I'm becoming this overwhelmed just by turning my computer on, just turning it on, I hadn't even fucking done anything except log in at this point, because Grant had finally fucking messaged me back. And I was messaging him at the same time, and I was saying, you know, I'm just trying to stay calm, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I'm smoking to see if that helps. And yeah. I went to make the video then because I was like, I can't do anything in this state of like it. If you've ever experienced overwhelm, I'm sure you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Like, overwhelm can become so intense. Like, I literally become like a mess on the floor or whatever it is, just uncontrollable. It's horrific to live with, and I'm gonna guess horrific to like experience in a loved one, or even just see in a stranger for that matter. So I messaged my uni friend and I was like, are you free for a quick chat? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, since you're up to date, and I'm most certainly not, I was like, would you have any advice on the best way to utilize the time we've got left between now and the exam? Like, I don't know where to start exactly. And my overwhelm is at such a level, like, it's not about where to start anymore. It's about being able to fucking sit here and do it. Yeah. Thankfully, I've calmed down. So I did talk to her, and she's wonderful. I didn't realize that so there's 10 weeks of content. So I need to watch week 10. So week 10's class and seminar I have not done. I have absolutely zero idea how to do any of week 10, which I think is something to do with two-way ANOVAs. Yeah, it is. It's a two-way ANOVA. What is a two-way ANOVA? I don't fucking know. So it's a factorial ANOVA. There you go. Want to learn something, people? A factorial ANOVA is a technique used to compare scores on a DV, which is a dependent variable, across different groups. It has multiple IVs, so independent variables that can have multiple levels. Sure. Like, I actually understand the math behind all of this, and I am pretty good with formulas and numbers and things like that. It's just not that I'm unable to learn. I'm so severely fucked up and broken 3D wise. Like, my higher self just chills along. It's all good. Life's wonderful. Blah blah fucking blah. And my 3D self down here in planet Earth is just like, why are we here? I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. Sometimes, most of the time. But I get there. Once I'm at a level of stone that I'm happy with, life becomes fantastic again. Right. I should stop talking and get to work. There's just one thing I wanted to mention, and I don't know if I have, and I'm really hoping it's nothing. So Boss is my best friend in the whole world, and maybe if I move you might be able to see it. Yeah. And Boss turned 10 on the 23rd of January, just been. My vet tells me that I'm really lucky that he's a Doberman cross Rottweiler, because Rottweilers don't tend to live past the age of 10. However, Boss has now had surgery 3 times for cancer. He's my best friend in the whole world, and I am just obviously one of those people who believe and am able to, during those 3 times, there was obviously the option of do nothing, take a biopsy and find out, then potentially still do nothing, or take the biopsy, find out, and then the surgery. I think that's how it went the first 2 times, but by the 3rd time we were unable to get a biopsy because of it was like an actual impossibility to do. And that was when I was given the choice of, again, it's up to you to decide, do you want him to have the surgery for them to be removed, even though we don't know if they're cancerous or not, or would you rather just leave them? That was a no-brainer in my mind. It was, I want the surgery, I want them removed, yeah? So, turns out, right, I don't remember any of the fancy technical words. I just called my pharmacy, and I don't know how to pronounce half of my own medication. Like, I fully realized that because, like, I use the words like Ritalin, for example. Whatever the other fucking name is that it comes under, turns out I don't know how to pronounce it, alright? Anyway, my vet has sort of taught me how to look for the difference when lumps appear. So large dogs, once they get to like a certain age or whatever, can sometimes get these like fatty lumps. They're not cancery, there's nothing wrong with them. They don't look fantastic, but they just appear on some dogs. Now, because of the fact that I am basically in solitude 98% of my time, just like I'm in a better place now where with what I believe and understand and know about the universe that we're living in than I was back then. But he's had these lumps, right, for quite some time, is what I'm trying to say. And I'd remembered what the vet had said, and like she always tells me, do not panic. That's not going to help anyone. I swear, if all of us out there with mental health illnesses knew how to just do not panic, the world wouldn't be the way it is, like, right? Anyway, so he has a number of different lumps on his belly. They are squishy and fatty and yucky and whatever. And I took him to the vet because he needed like his regular checkup thing anyway, and I got them to have a look. Same thing. Couldn't get the biopsy. But my vet was like, she said, look, I obviously without CT scans and bios and this and everything else, she's like, it's like a professional educated guess at best. She's like, but I personally think they're these benign lumps that aren't dangerous, because what had happened in the 3rd surgery, so the first 2 surgeries he 100% had cancer removed. In the 3rd surgery, where we didn't know if these lumps were benign or cancerous because we were unable to test for it, and the only way to know was to get the surgery, they had turned out to be benign. So he didn't have cancer the 3rd time, but he had the surgery just the same. Anyway, last night, boss is a bed hog, couch hog, bed hog. He loves to be right next to you or under the covers. Like, if someone is in my home, he's so excited. Like, he's like me. It's like mother like dog, yeah? And anyway, he's been really, really overly affectionate lately. Like, he didn't even leave yesterday when I was crying my eyes out, which is rare because he usually does. And I was trying to sleep because, like, I really just need to get through this shit. And even though it might seem like nothing, this is just using every single bit of fucking energy I've got trying to do this. And at the moment, it's like, yay, my exam's on Tuesday, then I'm done until March. Yeah? And until July. So I'm not really done until the fucking end of the year. But I have to just remember to look at each moment, like, not even day by day, hour by hour at this rate, yeah? Anyway, last night I'm lying in bed. I've started listening to like pouring rain and thunder, like meditation sounds to fall asleep to. because I love listening to the rain, and don't really know why I hadn't thought of that ages ago, because I used to fall asleep to guided meditations, and now I'm just listening to the rain. But I have a queen size bed. Boss usually has his side and I've got mine, right? But last night, I reckon I had like this much compared to his this much. He had most of himself lying on top of me, and he weighs like 45 kilos. Like, I weigh like 50 fucking 2, so he's heavy, yeah? And he wouldn't move. I tried everything without having to get up to make him move, and it just wasn't happening. In the end, I had to actually get up and turn the light on to move him. You know what? I had to bribe him. It was so fucking hard to get him to move last night, and I just wanted to go to sleep so much that I grabbed the dog treats to make him move. I literally had to bribe Boss to get him to fucking move. It wasn't like I was even trying to get him to move far, just from lying on top of me to his side of the goddamn bed. And anyway, in the process of this happening, I saw something I hadn't seen until that moment, and that is a new lump. Now, this is going to sound probably strange, because even in my own self it's really strange, but it's what's happened each time. Depending on how Boss is sitting or standing, it's really obvious or it's not. Again, using the treats to bribe him, I got him to sit and stand and do a bunch of things while I continued to check this thing, yeah? And I took photos of it, and I took photos of it next to my hand and whatnot. The reason I'm telling this story in great detail, when I should be studying it, is this particular lump is not soft and squishy like the vet says are the safe ones. This particular lump is big, quite solid, and just based on like what I've learned throughout all the surgeries and him having it before, I'm so almost like I'm so positive that if I go to get him like biopsied, that it'll be cancerous, that I honestly don't know what to do anymore. I'm sure we can all appreciate surgeries aren't cheap. I do not have pet insurance. I will probably invest in that moving forward when I get another pet. But yeah, so that's not cool at all. But he seems happy. So I really just need to get some stuff done, and then even if I don't have enough energy to like walk him, or I'm obviously, let's face it, going to be way too stoned to drive anywhere today. Once I clean up my backyard, which isn't difficult, I just need to clean up after him, ironically enough, go and play outside or something a bit and have a break in between stuff. But I am going to more than likely take him to the vet at least, because I just won't be able to live with myself if I don't. And then I will, I guess, update with what the vet says. And obviously none of this will be happening until after exams. But I've talked for, oh my god, nearly 35 minutes. I have so much to do. It's 2:35 in the afternoon on Thursday, the 9th of February 2023. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. See y'all.